So this election dispute, the dispute that is going on, the challenging of the results of this election, is not about Trump. We're not Trump sycophants. I got a few issues with Trump, but they pale in comparison. It's not about that. It's not about wanting to believing what you want to believe. I didn't want to believe the election results of 2012 or 2008. I didn't want to believe that the Panthers lost to the Broncos in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. It's not about believing what you want to believe. It's about believing what the evidence is. About what I see, and don't try to gaslight me and tell me I don't see what I see. You know, there are things that happen that CNN doesn't talk about that actually happened. Just because the CNN didn't report it, and I use that CNN as a fill-in for the entire legacy media. And just because CNN says it didn't happen doesn't mean that it didn't happen. The best counter that I've heard so far for any of this is, no, it didn't happen. It's baseless. So pay no attention to that. Just some lame brain. No, you're wrong. I mean, we've got hundreds of affidavits sworn, and sworn testimony is evidence. Now, you cannot believe these hundreds of people who say that they witnessed election fraud. But you bring up your own witnesses. The people who said that who were supposed to be there counting ballots, the Republican observers, said they were thrown out, sometimes physically. Now we have video evidence in some cases, video and photographic evidence. Don't tell me I didn't see what I didn't see, that I didn't see what I saw. This is bigger than Trump, and I don't care. You can't say that there's baseless accusations. You can't say there's no evidence. You have to acknowledge it if you want to be honest and not intellectually bankrupt. You can present your own evidence to the contrary. And I get it. Sometimes, things, that guy, he's got to be the murderer. That guy's, because it just makes sense. And there are people who've been thrown in jail and convicted because prosecutor or an investigator it just made sense that guy would be it. And it wasn't. But at the same time, you can't dismiss, you just want it to be that guy, so you can't look at it. You have to take a good, hard look at the evidence. And if Biden won this legitimately, show evidence that he did. That doesn't give me an explanation, a plausible explanation for why there'd be hundreds of thousands of ballots that showed up when they said, we're going to stop. It's why I went to bed that night. I was prepared to go to work the next day. I had Red Bull coffee, No-Dos, and Jolt gum ready to carry me through work the next day, but they said, we've stopped counting, so I went to bed. And then all of a sudden everybody wakes up and hundreds of thousands of ballots just came in for Biden, and of those loads that got dropped, Trump couldn't get 3%, sometimes even 1% in certain areas. You can go to an Antifa rally. You can go to the deepest of deep blue areas, communist-controlled centers of this country, San Francisco, wherever, and Trump will break 10% without even trying, just because people think that Bernie Sanders got screwed or whatever. And Trump couldn't get 1, 2, 3% out of these ballot dumps at a time when nobody was looking, at a time when they said we were supposed to have paused, break, and not be counting ballots at that time. They just showed up. Give me something to believe that this wasn't voter fraud, if that's what you think. The Dominion voting machines? Where are the executives? Why aren't they answering questions? Why aren't they saying, look at our machines. This is how they work. We're proud of it. They're MIA. They've flown the coop. But I'm crazy, and tens of millions of other crazy, because it's not about Trump. It's not about stealing the election from Trump. It's about stealing the election from over 70 million people who voted for him. Legitimately. At least the best information says. Because I don't care if you say, there was voting fraud, but it doesn't add up to Trump winning. Biden still won. I don't care if you say, there was election fraud, and so what are you going to do now? It's over and Biden's going to be inaugurated. I don't care if you say, thank God it was stolen, because Orange Man bad. You got to be honest, face the fact that there was some sort of shenanigans going on, and that doesn't, I mean, say shenanigans, that doesn't scratch the surface, but if this election was stolen, there's no way to hold these people to account. The people who perpetrated it and benefit from it will now be in charge, and it's not going to get fixed. And we're looking at one-party rule. People who won't be held to account, people who won't be challenged. Yeah, there'll be an election, but it won't matter. You can run, I don't care who your alternative is that you want it to be. It could be the Green Party, it could be the Libertarian Party, but they're not going to have a chance. I don't have a chance now, but they never will. Nobody will. Because it's not about who votes, it's about who counts the votes, and the people counting the votes will be corrupt, and they'll just stuff the ballot box, and your vote won't matter. It'll be diluted, and they'll get away with whatever the hell they want. And even if you're a diehard Democrat, at some point they're going to cross the line, and you can say, whoa, wait a minute, I didn't bargain for this, and you're not going to have any recourse other than to shoot your way out of it if you can't vote them out. And that's the danger, and that's why we're so concerned about this. It ain't about Trump. It's about the election 4 years from now. 8 years. 12 years. It's about every future election. Be excellent to each other. Sic Semper Tyrannis, and for however long the Republic lasts, long live it. Should be forever, but God knows what's going to happen now.